For weeks, we've been hearing about Justyn Ross looking great in his workout videos of routes on air with Mahomes in Texas. And for the most part, you and I, we've chalked it up to fans just being pumped and optimistic about what Ross could be.
Yeah,
But when Patrick Mahomes speaks, you listen.
yeah.
This week, they at a press conference, a Zoom press conference, reporter asked Patrick Mahomes about Justyn Ross, and he had this to say: "Quote: The talent's through the roof. I think anybody can see that, and I think he's gotten better and better, even though he wasn't active all year long. He was in the building, and he was able to see the guys and how we do things, and listen, and be in some of the meetings and stuff like that. And so I'm excited for him to get out there and be able to get the reps in, practice, and get the little fine details that we like to do in this offense." The talent's there and he works his tail off. I'm like, man, you got to ease up a little bit. He wants to run the route 100 times, but you rather have to ease up a guy, make him kind of ease up on himself. But, he wants to work and be the best player he can possibly be. So, JD, are you pumping the brakes on this hype train, or are you getting aboard this hype train after Mahomes has given us a green light on Justyn Ross?
Now, look, man. I was saying this before. I was saying, look, that the guy has a lot of ability. Everything Patrick said, well, I think we said last week or the week before, we was talking about the Justyn Ross thing. We ain't even seen him. We ain't even seen him out there really catching the balls like Patrick's catching them, right, or watching him. But he does. He has a ton of ability. We know that. We've seen him in college. The question is, are you going to be able to be out on the field? But look, what Patrick says is 100% you could take to the bank. You can take it to the bank. And so he's sitting over here, and you can see and hear the excitement in his voice. But he was able to say it. He was like, "Hey, man, look, this kid, he has it all. We know he has the talent. He's been around us, learning the offense. Like you said, once he gets all the nuances and details down of understanding exactly what this offense is or what we're asking him to do, he's going to be a great weapon for us." And so now I'm buying all the hype. And there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. My question is, and everybody else's question, it's the question of him remaining healthy. And we hope he does. I hope he remains healthy his entire career with Kansas City. And I hope it's a long, long career here, because he is a guy that answers a lot of questions going into the season. And so Patrick said he's a guy that you gotta pull back. I told you this, man. Look, he is so anxious and so hyped to go out there and show what he can do because he didn't get to play last year. That's a great thing. That's the guy you want to be able to pull a guy back, right? You don't want to get on and call the guy like, "Hey, can he come out here and work out?" You don't want to try to pull a guy in. You want to try to pull a guy back. That's the guy you want. And so that to me is the most one of the most promising things I've heard him say was that about him. Is like he wants to take every rep. He wants to do it all. But a guy, he's just hungry. And you need a guy that's hungry to come out here and show what he can do. Because he's going to bring a lot to the game. He is, with that athleticism, his work ethic, all those different things, man, he has about him that's going to put the Chiefs in a great position into being a very dangerous offense again. Another year being another dangerous offense and then another dangerous weapon just for Patrick Mahomes in himself. And so PM15 is saying this, man, yeah, I'm buying it. I'm all in on this one. So, hey, man, welcome, Justyn Ross. I hope you're healthy throughout this entire year. I can't wait to see you, buddy. Can't wait to see you out there on that field. For real.
So you are getting on this hype train. I mean, if you are.
Listen up. Look. I'm, and the thing is, my hype is, we put it like it's measured hype, right? Like my expectations for him is, hey, getting out there on the field, not being hurt, catching a few balls a game, making it through the season. That's what my hype is. Okay, that's what my hype. My hype is just him being able to make some plays out there on the football field. I'm not going to sit there and say the guy's going to catch 70 balls or 60, and I'm not going to say that. My hype is him just being healthy, him being a target for Patrick Mahomes, him getting open, and him showing his athletic ability. That's what my hype is, okay? So let's just make sure that we have it in context of where my hype is, right? Because if a guy hadn't had a chance to do any of those things, I'm just hyped he's getting out there on the field just to be able to show it. That's where I'm at. So I'm on that train. Yeah, man. I'm on that train that he's healthy, he's ready to go, he's learning these things, and he's just happy to be out there playing. He's happy to be out there playing. You know, now they don't have to watch from the sidelines and watch what the guys are doing. Now they can be a part of it. Now they can be a part of like actually getting that ring, right? And so I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy for him.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people need to consider. We kind of touched on this last week, but like expectations, I don't want to set. I think what you said is great. Where you're at with it, where you're measured hype.
Yeah.
People, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter just because we're seeing, and that's the thing. Again, it's just routes on air videos, and that's why this is a segment, because Mahomes is not only saying it's Mahomes can ball. Yeah, he sees it. He knows what it takes. And he's pretty much given the green light for this hype train to kind of continue with this quote here. But let's make sure we're placing reasonable expectations on this kid. This kid almost didn't play football ever again. And, he's been able to, work himself back up to be able to do these routes on airs with Mahomes and actually look good, to the fact where Mahomes is going on in the media and saying this kid is legit. So it's like, let's set reasonable expectations. And I think where you're placing that is reasonable. I've seen people tweet about, 70 catches, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns isn't too much to ask for based on what he did in college 2 years ago. Like,
really? Wow.
A lot of people think that they can get what his ceiling was supposed to be with 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what people think it can happen this year if he's healthy. It's like,
hey,
that's not fair.
Listen, it's not fair. And the thing is, look, we just happen he's taking a step in the right direction, right? Of just being healthy out there on the field, catching footballs right now and running routes. Like you said, pass is a whole different thing. Getting hit is a whole different thing. And so I'm sure that, the doctors and everybody also too is, they're thinking about, okay, listen, we've talked to this guy extensively about what could happen to him, what this disease or this medical issue may be, what setbacks could happen possibly. But like you said, reasonable expectations, there's nothing wrong with that. But like you said, the 70 and all of that, like, like I said before, we're not asking this guy to be the hero, okay, of the wide receiver room. All right. We're not asking that. Okay. My hype comes in. Hey, you come in, you catch 30 balls, 35. Man, that's a heck of a job. Okay. Yeah. Let's build on the very next year after that. Okay. But, he's going to, like I said, he's going to come in, he's going to be anxious until Pat, like I said, if Pat is also to let him know, like, listen, hey, guy, relax. Take it easy. I understand you want to run every route. I understand you want to do these things, okay? I don't want you to get injured before those things. But I just need for you to understand to play what we ask you to do. Just play within the whole confines of what we're trying to do offensively, okay? I don't need for you to come out here, catch 75 balls or 70 balls and get 12 touchdowns. I don't. We got other guys in the room that have ability as well. Okay, we got MVS, we got Sky Moore, we got Kadarius Toney, we got James, right? We got your other Ross duo, just re-signed Justyn Watson back. We got guys here. So, hey, if you come out here and you add on to that, more power to you. That's what I want you to do. And so, no, but I get it. I get the anticipation that Ross has, Justyn Ross has. And like I said, I've been there before, where you're down 1 year, couldn't get to play, and you just can't wait to go out there and show what you can do. And so, yeah, man, I'm all aboard on that. Okay, I'm all aboard on that, and I know that fire that's fueling him right now. Hey, go get it, young fella. Go get it. Go get it.
I'm right there with you. And I think a lot of this, obviously, like I said, fans are excited and hopeful. And a lot of us Chief fans are college football fans and saw this guy a few years back when he was the lead dog in that offense with T. Higgins, with Renfro. So, like, I get people are like, oh, man, we got this guy undrafted. And we were big fans of, highlighting our draft hits, Pacheco, 7th round. Justyn Ross, he was undrafted. Look at that, and look at him now. I get it. Everyone wants to see him flourish, and we want to see him flourish too. But let's make sure we're, like you said, let's make sure we're keeping reasonable expectations on this undrafted receiver who is coming back from a really, horrific thing that he had with the spinal injury that he had.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely, man. We'll take it, okay? Like we should, all right? Just we ease into this thing. We all for it. Everybody's in on it. Okay, ease on to it. So
there's one thing that Mahomes did say in his quote, which I thought was interesting. And you could probably speak to this more so than obviously I can't speak to this, but talking about how while Ross was out last year,
yeah,
recovered from like I think he had foot surgery and they ended up like just shelving him for the year. But he was being able to be in the building. What can a player be able to learn from being in the building? Not playing, but just being in the building, being around the guys, being in some of the meetings and stuff. How much can that really help a guy, who was a rookie last year, but was able to kind of experience a whole year of that? What can be learned and brought in from that?
well, I mean, first off, you learn expectations. You learn the schedule. You learn how coaches are. You learn what drives coaches as far as what they like, what they don't like. Okay, when he's in the meeting rooms, he could watch the coach go through and coach these other guys up, receiver wise, as far as like depths of the route, what they're actually looking for, and so he's learning all of that. If he's getting all that information, man, that's what you want a guy to do. And if you're not playing, you want mental reps. Mental reps is one of those things like if you can't get out there and physically do the work, mentally you got to be there. Okay. So you come to work every single day to learn. Okay. You're just not a number or you're just not, you are to do a job. So hopefully he's also being told and he's being taught, he's being coached how to be a pro. Look, this is the way we do things. Okay. So when I'm coming over here and this guy right here is getting cussed out or getting on, berated because of something he didn't do, right? You learn it too. You're the guy that's being berated and cussed out. Okay. So okay, I see why I shouldn't do that. I see what the coaches want from me. So those things, man, those things are vital. It's very important for a guy like that to be in the building to see how all the coaches operate, how the team operates, the whole pulse of everything. And so just being around the guys too, that's tremendous. That way you're part of a team. You're part of the number. And you just, like I said, you're just not like a sack of potatoes out here, just an afterthought. Guys are seeing you, hey, Justyn, what's going on? Every single day talking to you, saying what's up. People know your name. People in the building know your name. That's important because you got to feel like you belong. If you don't feel like you belong somewhere, that's a tough place to be, especially for a young guy, a rookie coming into the NFL. It can be a lonely place, man, when you don't really have any friends and nobody knows what you're going through. And so sometimes your best friends you get so used to seeing is the training room, the head trainer and the doctors and all of that. It's to see other faces, man, is most important to you more than anything else. Those guys are talking to you. The other rookies are talking to you. The veterans are talking to you. All those things, man, it just makes a person and a player more well-rounded. And that's very important for him to come in a room like that or just around the building that everybody's seeing his face. Seeing Big Red. Big Red's talking to him, right? So all those things are important. Beach, Hunt, all of them. That's important, man, because it's a family. I'm going to tell you this, man. The Chiefs, it's a family atmosphere. They treat everybody like their family, and it's very important that he's in one of the greatest organizations, no doubt, in the NFL. Period.
Yeah, now I'll take your word for it, JD, since you were there for 8 years.
Good word. It's a good word, man. I know what I'm talking about, so it's a good word. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, look. He's coming to one of the greatest positions he possibly could be, especially in the Chiefs organization, because it will make you feel like family. It will feel like home for a guy like this, young guy.
Well, plus, I mean, I think last year, I think we all knew we were getting ourselves into it. It was a project, right? So, and he chose to come to Kansas City too. Like he could have gone anywhere else. He chose to come to Kansas City. We didn't rush him back. We weren't one of those franchises who needed this guy to hit the field, right? We didn't rush him back. We knew we were getting. It was kind of like a project, to see if he can like overcome his medical red flags that he had. And obviously, it looks like it's coming to fruition right now. With just routes on air so far, but it looks, based on what Mahomes is talking about, it looks like there might be something here.
Yeah, no, shoot, hey, PN15 saying so, man. I'm gonna take his word for it.
For sure, yeah. So it speaks to the organization, the fact that like, hey, sit this year out, get right, have your foot surgery, it speaks to the, like you were saying, it speaks to the organization in backing Justyn Ross.
It truly does. No, it really does. And I don't think that needs to be understood more than that, man, because if you go to other places, it's usually not like that. Okay. And you hear so many, horror stories of, you're a forgotten guy and, the teams are ready to get rid of you. And so them just having the patience, to deal with this, and him himself, right, and making him feel good about it. Man, that's a beautiful place to be, really.
Yeah, and hopefully, hopefully his and I'll say, the people who do think this guy's going to come out and have 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns if he stays healthy, I hope you're right. But I'll be okay with what JD said, 20 to 30 catches, whatever.
I hope you're right. Yeah, heck, you get 15. I'm happy. That's a step in the right direction. That's more than you may have had last year.
Yeah. More than what many thought he would have had 2 years ago when,
Absolutely. Right.
But yeah, we're rooting for Justyn Ross, and we're really obviously happy about what Mahomes had to say. He's raving about him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.